Hello YouTube, Reseller Mom here. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing another gray area of Amazon issues concerning IP messages. IP stands for intellectual property, and as an Amazon seller, you're going to get these in a variety of ways. So today I wanted to go over kind of just all the gray areas surrounding them because people have a lot of different opinions and they're all probably correct, and it's okay. There's a lot of different things going into these, and so I want to show you kind of how to analyze the message, how to interpret it, and even some responses and to-dos on how you can go about doing that. So welcome to my channel. If this video helps you out at all, please give me a thumbs up. That helps out a lot, and let's get started. I see this type of message very often on Amazon seller boards and forums. And basically, you will get a message through your Amazon account or through your email about an IP complaint. And people wonder, how do they get that information? Do they need to respond? How serious is it? What do you do? And that's a very great question. And as a business owner, you do need to protect your account and know how to manage these because you will get them. Some of them are real, some of them are good to respond on, some are fake. How do you tell all that difference? It's very difficult. I'll start off with that. Sometimes it's just really difficult to make that decision. And at the end of the day, this is your business and you need to make business decisions that are in the best interest of your business. And while Facebook and forums are great, sometimes other people's businesses are not set up exactly how yours is, so the information that they give you may not be exactly what you should be doing. All right, so a typical message will come to you either from the brand owner or possibly another seller that's just trying to get you off of the listing, whether they have legit claims to ask you to be off that listing or it's not a legit claim. It could still happen. So how are they finding you? Boy, they've got some really good investigators, Sherlock Holmes out there. But your account, if you sell things on Amazon, there is a way to contact the seller. So you can try this out yourself. If you just go to anything on sale on Amazon, you can see the seller, and then if you click on their store, it will have a little contact this seller, and you can contact them and give them a message. For their, if they just have gotten your email, sometimes your business email is associated out there, just simple Google searches and stuff, they can find you. Now, I've had some companies that have gone so far as to find like old resumes and old emails that I'm on and contact me on emails that are super old, and they must have been linked to me somehow on something years ago, and try to message me there. But regardless, let's move on to the next slide here on what that message may look like. So if it comes through the Amazon Marketplace, it's going to say something like product detail inquiry from Amazon customer. So this one, clearly they went to the page and they found a seller that's selling that item, and they're messaging them through the Amazon network. Okay. Now their message here says, "Thank you for your assistance. I appreciate it. I work with," it's Bragg Company. I show that in the next slide. I wasn't sure if I was denouncing that or not. "And we ask you to fix the issues that are present in the following attachment. Please do so as soon as possible." Now, this was posted on a Facebook message page. I have whited out anything or read it out, anything that would direct you to the actual seller of this. This was not something that I sell, but I could have pulled one from myself too. I just take screenshots for these videos on things that I think you would find helpful, and it doesn't really matter what the customer name is or what the seller is. You get the idea here. All right, so this is what was attached to that email from Bragg. I don't even know what Bragg sells. curious now. I will look that up later. But what it says down here is please remove your listing. Pretty much. It has come to our attention you're offering our product for new condition. Example, this ASIN. We were not able to identify you in our authorized supply chain. For items listed as new, they must have the original manufacturer's warranty. Now, I bring this up because this is important. If you are selling new items on Amazon and there's any sort of warranty going on with them, this is legit. You probably should not be selling it because you cannot offer that warranty. So each time you get this message or these types of messages, you need to look at them and see what's going on. So first thing I check is it a legit brand? Am I really selling it? Which has happened. I've gotten things for things I'm not even selling. So is it a legit brand? Is it a legit email? Is it a legit everything? And what is their complaint? If it's about a manufacturer warranty and or that they are brand registered, then those are going to hold a lot more weight on things I need to take action with than if it's just a fake one or something that's not really legit or from another seller. Okay, so from this one, I would go investigate what that ASIN is. Does the listing really have a warranty? Is the email legit? Is this a real person? You can even go as far as looking up the company on LinkedIn or their Facebook page, or even calling them. You can call them and say, hey, I got this email. Is this really from your brand compliance? And go down from that to, how do you become an authorized reseller? Who are your authorized distributors, etc. Or you can, like most of us, see that maybe I am selling something and it has a warranty and I don't have that warranty. Oops, I messed up, and go and delete that listing. Sell out of your product, recall your product, dispose of your product, whatever you want to do, and get off of that listing. Once you delete it out of your inventory, you're pretty much in the clear from receiving the IP claims. Now, deleting is much different than closing. If you close it, they can still come after you to as an official IP claim. Okay, so you got to do a little bit of homework here. A lot of times, most of these that come in are ones that I delete and ignore, but every once in a while I'll get one that, like, oh shoot, I jumped on somebody's private label bundle and I didn't realize it, or there's a warranty and I didn't realize it, and I need to take action to make sure that this doesn't fester into a real IP complaint. So, how do you know if it is a real IP complaint? Messages and emails are not real official IP complaints. They could be the prelude to an official IP complaint, and that's why you need to do your homework. Official IP complaints will show up on your account health under received intellectual property complaints. This would be directly from the brand and be a received intellectual property complaint. If it's suspected, then that means possibly the customer did a feedback or a review or somehow brought it to Amazon's attention that they think maybe they didn't get the right thing, that there's something going on. So take, for instance, say you sell a pair of Nike shoes and the customer gets them and they're upset. They think they're fake, and they write for their reason of return that they believe these are fake shoes. That fake word is going to flag the system and you will get a suspected IP violation up here. You then need to take action to try and clear that up. You can submit invoices or receipts for suspected intellectual property violations and try to get that taken care of. For received intellectual property complaints, only really retractions, invoices, authorized letters, whatever's Amazon's requesting is going to work, and a receipt from TJ Maxx or Target is not going to work against a received intellectual property complaint because this comes from the brand owner themselves. Okay? Now, sometimes you will receive the email and it takes Amazon like 24 hours to update your seller board, but it will eventually show up there. I've had them take, I want to say it was right around 24. It might have been 48 hours to actually populate onto the compliance board here. This is an excerpt of the buyer-seller messaging service. When you're ordering from third-party sellers, I suggest you read and make note of all the rules. You are playing in Amazon's sandbox. You need to follow all the rules. And if you understand them, you can use them to your benefit. For instance, if somebody is being really nasty to you or trying to get you to get a return done, and maybe they are on the verge of blackmailing, you can know that that is against Amazon's terms of service and get cases filed in your favor. So understand all the rules, read through all of them, go find out and go to Seller Central University and get familiar with everything that they want you to be doing. This is a copy of mine. This is straight from my board on messages that have come through. So you can see here my messages are, inquiry from customer, product inquiry, customer, detail inquiry, cancellation request, inquiry, and you can kind of see the timeline. I do a little over 2,000 items every month selling, and let's see here, in June I received 3 messages. In May, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nothing in April, and a few messages in March, going down there. But if you're kind of getting a worry on if you're going to be bombarded when you start this Amazon business, the messages and inquiries are really not that bad. Dealing with 3 of them every month, give or take, is not that bad. Now, Q4 this last year, there was a ton. That December was really rough with all of the shipping issues. But to get to this, you just go to your messages. It's in the top right corner. You'll find this. I clicked all messages, but it defaults you to ones that you need to respond to. And this one right here is some blow up thing that they said they went to go blow it up and it has a hole. I would like a refund, as well as I bought another one. These type of messages you need to respond to. Now, Amazon used to keep track and it was in one of your performance metrics, but I couldn't find that when I went to go do this video. They have updated so much, Amazon, this year. It's getting a little ridiculous. But anyhow, when you get these messages, you kind of have a couple options. You can select a template, you can make a response, you can click no response needed, you can hit report message. My response is a template. Hello, please navigate to the order details in your dashboard and initiate a return. Period. All of my responses, I have them worded to give my customer the instructions and not have any reason to talk to me again, because I don't want to sit here back and forthing. And I've seen how some people do emails and they make it to where you're just in this email thread for days and it's exhausting, and I just don't have the patience for that. So all of my templates are set up with actionable things that they can do to solve the problem and whatnot. So in this case, I'm not going to just default refund this guy. I sent it in brand new. They're claiming it had a hole in it. Okay, then you can return it. It was an FBA item, so it was fulfilled by Amazon. Therefore, they really need to go through Amazon's system. And Amazon really wants everybody to go through Amazon's system. If you felt like, say, I felt that this was my fault for some reason, then I could go ahead and refund them. The other thing with this is I didn't have the order information. So if it's a particular order, let's say it is an FBM, they'll have the order detail page over here. But because it's FBA, I don't know who this guy is. All I know is he received it on the 7th. I would have to go do some very much research in my orders to try and see if I could figure out his name, who it was, when they ordered it, find the order, etc. to do some things. But no, I'm not going to do that. So my default template is just to navigate and initiate a return. So speaking of, I don't know if I got my email templates, but that might be, I don't think I added them. No, I did not add them to this video, but you can manage your email templates there. I may do a video and update my video on my email templates because they've grown. They've grown since the last time I've done a video on it. All right, so if you get a message through Amazon, this is where it would be. You can also access this on the phone. And the templates are there on the phone too, which is super handy when you're out sourcing or something to respond quickly and efficiently. Customer service rating. This is new. This is brand new. They are going to start doing some sort of rating on seller message exchanges. If your rating is, let's see here, your rating is updated weekly based on a survey on whether your responses from seller help the buyer solve their problem within the previous 4 weeks. So this will be a rolling 4-week. I have no responses yet. It just came out like really soon. And this will be interesting to see. Sometimes Amazon comes up with these matrices to see how you're performing, and sometimes they're good, and most of the time they're not. But that's something to look forward to now, and I guess that's what they are changing it to. They used to have like a response time if you responded within 24 hours or within 48 hours from a customer question, and I could not find that anymore on anywhere. I was actually a little taken back. It used to be on your dashboard, then it used to be under your performance health, and I could find this. So I guess that's what they're moving along with. Amazon sometimes emails you about these things, and sometimes they just do changes and they don't tell you about it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh, you gotta love it so that you don't hate it. All right. Customer service performance is now where it's at, and this is where they used to say your response time and it was judged, and now it's not. So all I have is order defect rate, negative feedback, A to Z claims, chargeback, and this is all for merchant fulfilling, so that's all I could find. And they tell you the time frame up here from the 17th to June 15th. So what is that, like 3 months, April, May, June, 3 months time they're going to have this order defect rate. For those of you who are posting about having problems with this and getting your account under the yellow warning sign because your defect rate is high, you really need to go in and just take care of these things. Either ship more items so that the matrices are better, the percentage is better, try to get rid of negative feedback, take care of these things, because I've seen a lot of people get hit with that, especially with COVID and a lot of merchant fulfilling in the last year. All right. Here is one of my templates. I love this one. I don't usually, let's see here. When I get those messages from Amazon, or through Amazon, I should say. Let's go back up. This is response to this type of thing. Product detail inquiries from Amazon customer. Thank you. Please see our thing. We want you not to sell our product, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, I report these and I mark as no response needed. I think you have to mark no response needed and then report, because if you just report, it negates the other one. So usually I'll put no response needed and then report the message. But this is what other people do, and it's just another option for you. So I like to give you 2 different options. You decide what you want to do with your business. This was somebody's basic response to an authenticity of a request. Just says, thank you for contacting us regarding this issue. Because we're unable to verify the authenticity of such request, it is our policy to respond only to Amazon in regard to such request. We suggest that you contact Amazon seller support. Thank you for your understanding. Again, another response that's it. It's like, period, done. Not going to talk to you anymore. If this makes you more comfortable sending this out, that's great. Now, I know a lot of people, when they get to a certain size, they train virtual assistants to kind of monitor and do these things. So having templates set up and a standard, this is what you do when X happens, is really good to have. So your choices are to either comply with the request, ignore and report the request, or respond something like this so that they understand that you received the request, but we just don't know if you're really authentic. So giving you some options there. These next couple of slides are kind of dealing with these gray area IP complaints. This one was an interesting take on, somebody posted how to respond to an IP complaint when you have no product. Like, say you're doing merchant fulfilling and you just list the product, or you're sourcing out there and you add the product to your inventory, but you don't really have the product for sale yet. You have 0 inventory. And what they do to do that. So they say receipts only work when your products are not brand restricted. We went over that before. If you have a real IP complaint, receipts are not going to work. You need to have an invoice. Not every brand allows you to source their product from anywhere. For brand restricted products, Amazon always looks for an authorization letter along with the receipts or invoices. So if you get an IP complaint and you have no product, what can you do to tell Amazon here? Apologies, I got a phone call and it's kind of interrupted my train of thought. But this person suggests this plan of action if you have no product and you've received an IP complaint. So step one is that explain that you listed the product and you didn't have any inventory on hand. You were thinking about buying it later, and also mention about policies. I'm not sure what policy they're talking about. In the meantime, contact a new verified supplier and buy 10 products so that you can then show inventory, show an invoice, and explain that this is your new supplier going forward, and that's how you verified your new supplier, and your account will be reinstated. I haven't tried this, but if you are stuck in this situation, that would be what I would suggest that you do. As I go through Facebook boards and things, I see things like this that I'm like, well, it hasn't happened to me, but I go ahead and I copy and I paste these in for either videos for you guys, or I have a little sheet that I copy and paste these types of things in so that I am building up kind of responses to situations that haven't happened to me, but are there if it does happen to me. Because I don't know about you, but if I don't do that, I swear 3 months later, I will have this exact same situation and I will never be able to find what to do about it later. So I keep these in a little log book on my Google Drive on what to do for certain situations. And that's where I pulled for this video. This one was an interesting story, and I loved this. This was absolutely hilarious and great thinking. But basically, they got a copyright infringement for a product detail page bullet point, and they filed it from an unregistered email. So after fighting with Amazon, trying to get it to work, and of course an unregistered email, you're not ever going to get a response from that because it's just a fake email, they went ahead and registered the email, and then they retracted the complaint from the email. So sometimes you've got to think outside the box. They haven't responded whether this actually worked or not, but they filed the retraction from the fake complaint, from the email from which it was cited from, because now they are the owner of that email. And it just shows you that good thinking sometimes can get you out of situations with Amazon. Sometimes Amazon's, what they do is they try to make a policy for everything, and sometimes they have anomalies and it just doesn't work. So sometimes you just got to think of a good workaround, and this was probably the funnest one that I've ever seen. I thought that was awesome. They went and researched the email to see if it was fake or not. It wasn't even a real email, so they just went ahead and made that email, and now they're the owner of that email. Oops, there we go. Response from a fake IP claim. Oh, this one, if you get this and you can't, go ahead and make the email like the last example did, then you need to do a lot of information searching and gathering. And there's several posts about this out on the forums if it's a fake email. This person responded with how they would respond to it and how they would respond. And the example in this one is IKEA, and somebody just is doing fake claims on behalf of IKEA, and what they would respond to Amazon with their plan of action and their appeal button. Whether this works or not, again, I haven't tried it, but it's something that I felt that I would just share with you guys, stick in my back pocket, because that's not to say that it won't happen to me, and hopefully it won't. I have not had a real IP complaint from a fake email address. I have had email addresses, more than I can count, that they don't respond to me. It's a real email address. I've researched the brand, I researched the company, and it is legit. but I can't get them to respond because in the policy warning, Amazon says to get a retraction from the rights owner and to contact them with XYZ email, and they just ignore me. So typically, after they have ignored me, I will search them out on LinkedIn. I will call the company. I will go to the website. I will use a contact form. I will hound them on a daily or every other day basis on every email I can find associated with them with the same blanket email, trying to get a retraction and get somebody to talk to me. And if that doesn't work, then I will then get my lawyer involved, whose link is down below if you get to that point too. So, to recap, if you receive any sort of email through Amazon or through your regular email, you need to do your research, do your homework, see how legit the claim is, see if it's real or fake. Is it from another seller trying to get you off the listing, or is it actually from the brand giving you a warning before they take legal action? And there's a lot of help out there, especially for known companies that have a track record, such as North Face. North Face is one of those companies that I've read about on several boards that they will give you a warning, they will email you, they will give you a heads up, and then they will do an official IP claim, and it's a pain in the butt to retract. Not impossible, but pain in the butt. Starbucks is another brand that has been a little rough, but sometimes you can work with them and get IP complaints off. But more than likely, it's just brands doing blanket emails, trying to get you off their listing and cut down on the third-party resellers, and they're not doing it properly. They need to go through brand registry with Amazon and go through the proper channels. And at the end of the day, you need to judge those emails and learn how to investigate and make that decision for your business. All right, guys, I'm done talking for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If it helped you out at all, go ahead and give me a like. I love new subscribers too, and I will catch you next time. Have an amazing day.